Fungal threat spreading fast in U.S. hospitals. CDC labels Candida auris an urgent threat. Cases nearly quadrupled in just 2 years. Multi-drug resistance makes treatment difficult. Contamination risks for healthcare settings. Welcome to Preppers News from Preppers Paradigm. News and global events with a prepper's perspective. I use a computer-generated voice because my own is hard to understand due to an injury. Today's story focuses on a growing health concern that's flying under the radar for most people, but preppers should be paying attention. Candida auris is a dangerous yeast. Unlike common fungal infections, this one doesn't just cause mild skin or nail issues. It can cause severe infections, especially in hospitals. It's hard to detect and harder to treat. In many cases, Candida auris can fight off multiple classes of antifungal medications, making it difficult to treat. It spreads through contact, often via contaminated surfaces like bed rails or equipment, and it can survive on surfaces for weeks. In high-risk settings, like long-term care homes or crowded hospitals, it's extremely difficult to stop once it's in. Over the past few years, Candida auris has gone from rare to widespread. In 2016, there were only a handful of confirmed cases in the United States. Over the next few years, however, that number had rapidly increased. The maps show new clinical cases in each year from 2016 to 2023. The CDC hasn't yet published data for 2024. Experts believe the true number of cases may be even higher. That's because testing is limited, and the symptoms can look like other common infections. In many cases, hospitals don't realize they're dealing with Candida auris until it's too late. This kind of growth, fast, persistent, and difficult to stop, is what led the CDC to label Candida auris an urgent threat. Right now, Candida auris is mostly a problem in hospitals and long-term care homes. But that doesn't mean preppers can ignore it. First, this fungus is incredibly hard to kill. It can survive on plastic and metal surfaces for weeks. That means it could spread beyond hospitals if it makes its way into the general population, especially during a crisis when healthcare systems are overwhelmed. Second, if you or a family member ever need urgent care, whether after an accident, illness, or during a disaster, there's a risk of exposure in healthcare settings where this fungus is present. And if it becomes more widespread, that risk grows even outside hospitals. Third, the treatment options are very limited. If more strains become resistant to all antifungal drugs, people with weak immune systems may have no effective treatment at all. That's a dangerous situation if supplies are low, hospitals are full, or access to care is disrupted. Preppers focus on self-reliance and reducing dependence on strain systems. Candida auris is a reminder of how fast a hidden threat can grow and how even the best hospitals can struggle to contain it. For now, most healthy people face low risk from Candida auris. But that could change, especially if the fungus spreads more widely or mutates further. Preppers should stay aware and take simple steps to reduce potential exposure. Start with hygiene. Wash hands thoroughly after being in public spaces, especially hospitals, clinics, or long-term care facilities. Hand sanitizer isn't enough on its own. Soap and water is more effective at removing fungal spores. If you're visiting someone in a hospital or care home, avoid touching surfaces unnecessarily, and don't place personal items on shared surfaces. Keep an eye on local health news. If your region sees a rise in Candida auris cases, take extra care. This includes being cautious with hospital visits unless they're absolutely necessary. Finally, for those stockpiling medical supplies, remember that traditional antifungals may not work against this strain. While over-the-counter treatments have their place, they won't be useful for something like Candida auris if it becomes a community-level issue. Awareness is key. This isn't about panic. It's about staying informed so you're not caught off guard. Candida auris isn't the kind of threat that makes headlines every night, but it's spreading quietly and quickly. It's drug-resistant, hard to kill, and difficult to detect. For preppers, it's another example of how fragile the modern healthcare system can be and how fast a localized issue can become a nationwide concern. The risk to most people right now is still low, but knowing what this fungus is, how it spreads, and why it matters gives you an edge. If it becomes more common outside hospitals, or if another crisis overwhelms medical systems, Being informed could make all the difference. Let us know in the comments if you've seen Candida auris mentioned in your local area, or if it's something you've been tracking. If you found this update helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with others who should know about this threat. And don't forget to subscribe to stay informed about the risks that matter from a prepper's perspective. For more news and updates, visit our website at preppersparadigm.com, link in the description. Thanks for watching Preppers News and global events with a prepper's perspective.